Hi, I am Chinwe Onyegoro, and I am the CEO and co-founder of PocketSuite. PocketSuite's an all-in-one business app that is designed for solo and micro professionals to be able to make life easy for your clients and to be able to do everything in one place. We are seeing amazing trends as it relates to pet professionals and the work that you're doing to streamline the process of getting booked, getting paid, and really managing all of your client interactions. And what we call that process and those trends is business automation. So, we're going to talk a little bit about what that means and what it means for you in particular, and how you can use it to really transform your business. You're going to hear about how to get booked online, so how people can discover you online and how they can get on your calendar. You're going to hear about what to do before appointments, how to collect information really easily without a lot of headache for your clients or for you. And you're also going to hear about what you can do once you've provided those awesome services to your clients, whether it's training services, dog walking, pet grooming, sitting, or boarding. What you can do to ensure that you offboard those clients in a way that gives them so much delight, just like when you are providing them the support and coaching with their pets. We're going to talk about how to get repeat business through social media, through your own client satisfaction scores and surveys. And then also, we're going to talk about how to retain your clients. If you're providing ongoing services for clients, how do you retain them? How do you reward them in order to ensure that you have clients for life? These are all things that you can automate and streamline. So, a little bit about myself and about PocketSuite. I am a recovering management consultant. I worked for many years at McKinsey and Company, but I have from the very beginning had a really deep obsession with entrepreneurship. I like to joke that my friends and I, early in life, we would have all these businesses. We'd have a babysitting business, we'd have a lemonade stand. And I was always the one who wrote the business plan for these businesses, believe it or not. Like age 9, I'm writing a business plan about where we'll market, where we should set up, how much we should sell the lemonade for based on what our input costs are, the sugar, the lemons. And so I just really loved understanding how businesses work and how to make them work even better for the entrepreneurs and also for customers. So fast forward, I started doing financing for small businesses after leaving the consulting world. I just wanted to help businesses and business owners reach their dreams faster and more fully. And so I thought capital, giving folks access to capital was like the most efficient way to do that. And I raised hundreds of millions of dollars for businesses. And I did it because I partnered with over 300 different lenders, both bank lenders and non-bank lenders, non-predatory bank lenders, to ensure that people could get the capital they needed as quickly as possible. Now, what I will say is when you help people raise money, you get to look under the hood of their business. And oftentimes I saw some really messy stuff, right? I saw a lot of cash flow issues. And many of these cash flow issues were caused because folks weren't collecting payment quickly enough or at all. And so they were basically raising money, accessing capital in order to kind of fill holes in their cash flow and operations. And so, although I was raising money for folks and folks were super happy and grateful, I really felt like I wasn't like solving the underlying problem, which is how do we make it easier for solo professionals who provide these awesome services to get paid quickly for the services they're providing so that they can keep more of their margin, keep more of their profits, rather than paying those profits, as interest to lenders. Okay. And so when the idea for PocketSuite came about, it was a no-brainer. This was an app that was going to help businesses run more healthily, right? It was going to allow folks to book you on a recurring basis so you have stable income. It was going to allow folks to be able to get paid up front using things like packages and subscriptions to be able to charge my clients who love me for the services up front so I don't have to chase them down with invoices. And it was going to be able to provide people invoices over text message so they could actually pay it super quickly. Within 24 hours, people are getting their payments or their bills paid because text messaging is actually just a much faster way to communicate with your clients and actually more convenient, believe it or not. So that's ultimately the story that led to PocketSuite. Now, fast forward, we're working with thousands of micro professionals, solo professionals around the country within a variety of industries, including the pet professional space. And we're just loving it. On the right hand side here, you see my mighty team. We are at a quarterly on-site in Portland, and having a grand time, and really just so excited that we get to do what we do every day, supporting pet professionals like you. So a little bit of background on me and on PocketSuite. So just the crux of what the problem that PocketSuite was designed and set up to solve is one that it may be very familiar to each of you. And that is that the vast majority of solo professionals, independent professionals, are using so many different apps, 3 to 5 different apps in many cases. They're using a scheduling tool, which is usually iCalendar or Google Calendar. They're using a payment tool, which is usually Venmo, Cash App, Square, or PayPal, right? It's all the same family, frankly. And oftentimes they can't tell you how much they're making and or what they're owed, because it's across too many different apps to be able to keep track of all of that. Oftentimes you're also using a contract app, Adobe, DocuSign, HelloSign. These are all contracting apps that are lovely, but they're siloed. They sit outside of all the other apps you're using, so they don't talk to each other. And finally, they're oftentimes using a Forms app, whether it's Google Forms or whether it's Adobe again, or it could be Typeform. So many different apps that are siloed, they're not talking to each other, and they make it really hard for your clients because they oftentimes have to enter their information into multiple apps, and they make it super hard for you because you definitely are duplicating information in those apps, or worse yet, you're having to keep a whole bunch of information in your head because the apps don't talk to each other, and so they really can't share information. So either way, you're juggling a lot. PocketSuite's designed to really solve that problem. It's one app that allows you to do all of those things: get booked, get paid, message your clients, keep notes, get contracts signed, get forms completed, and a whole slew of automations, right? That allow these different aspects of how you engage with clients to talk to one another and to create reminder flows and rebooking flows and all sorts of things that are designed to ensure your clients are taken care of. They feel cared for, but also that you are actually in a position to lock in that recurring relationship, that recurring income, without a whole lot of additional work on your part. That's fundamentally what PocketSuite's about. PocketSuite's available on mobile and also on desktop, which is really awesome. We were a mobile app first, and then we launched desktop this year. And the key is that you have this app because it helps you just have that professional layer to what you do. You're a pro, and then you have an app that actually puts a professional face on all the things that you are doing in the world in terms of onboarding clients and providing them that simple tool. But the other thing it does is it's actually easy for your clients because they don't actually have to download the app at all. They can actually engage with you on a web browser. They can engage with you on their phone, just like they have been with texting you. And they can do all of that, and whatever they're doing actually goes into PocketSuite for you. So it makes it super simple for them because they don't actually have to change any behavior, and it makes it uber easy for you because all that information is actually organized, consolidated in PocketSuite, and easily accessible to you on a mobile device or on a desktop. So why are you here? You're here to solve 3 basic pain points. One is you want to simplify. 3 to 5 different apps is just too much for you, and you feel like if you could just have one app that does it all, that would be awesome. The second thing is that you're trying to save some time. You're spending hours on paperwork and follow-up and making follow-up phone calls, and you just want to reduce the amount of time you're doing on that sort of admin back office so you can do more of what you love and you can spend more time with your clients. And then finally, you're trying to streamline. You're doing so much back and forth with clients that it feels really frustrating. You don't actually know where you left off and who you need to follow up with. And so you really want to streamline that process and make it very simple for someone to get access to what they need and be able to take action without you having to be heavily involved. All right, so we think automation is the answer to those 3 problems, and I'll talk to you a little bit about why. Okay, let's get something out of the way first, which is yes, automation, it feels like a scary thing, but like most scary things, it feels scary because it's unfamiliar to you. So, our job today is to make it more familiar so that it feels less scary. And frankly, maybe it starts to feel fun, easy, and super rewarding. That's when we know we've done a great job today, is when you're like, oh, automation, that's a no brainer. Where do I get started? Okay, so here's the definition of automation. It's important for us to get this out of the way. Automation is the creation and application of technologies to produce and deliver goods and services with minimal human intervention. I will be the first to admit that this is a very complicated explanation of what automation means. For me, automation is a very simple thing. Automation is the simple task of doing something once and then creating a set of rules around how that one thing that you've done can be done over and over again without you having to do the work yourself, right? So it's really about not duplicating work. So if you're constantly getting messages from clients about what your address is, or getting messages from your clients about whether they can cancel an appointment or reschedule an appointment, if you create a set of rules that say, hey, here's what my cancellation policy is, or here's how I respond to messages about what my location is or what my pricing is, you have fundamentally created automation. Why? Because you've created a message that can be saved as a template. Anytime somebody reaches out to you, that message can be sent. If you've created a set of rules around a task, you have made it so that you don't actually have to do that task again. The system will do the task for you. So automation is about eliminating duplicate work. That is something that is routine, that can be saved, and a rule can be created around it so that the system knows what to do when that task, when that opportunity for that task comes up again. That's essentially what automation is. Don't duplicate work, create a rule around what should happen when, a specific message is sent or when a specific item is needed. And once you've created that rule, the system can take care of it for you. Right? So if I had just left it at the automation definition, you'd be very confused. But if you think about it from the standpoint of there are a lot of things I do on a regular basis, some of those things, if I could create a rule around when those things should be done and created a personalized message or created a personalized template about exactly how it should be done, and then that could be done without me having to be involved, that's automation. Okay, so there are some myths and misperceptions that we should get out of the way. The first we talked about, automation is scary. We're going to make it familiar. The second is that you have to be tech savvy to automate. I would say the reverse. In fact, those who want to automate are folks who really feel like actually doing this work manually, there's so much room for error to do it manually over and over again that I actually, if I'm not tech savvy, that's automation is something that really would benefit me the most because I can put it into motion and I don't have to worry about any of the kind of human error that typically happens when you're doing processes over and over again. Some of you think it takes a long time to automate. I'll say that you can automate within 3 minutes. It just depends on the scale of automation. The example that I gave before, when you take a message, that you get often or a question you get often from clients and you design or draft a response to that message and then save it as a template. Whether that template's a Google Doc or that template is a saved message within an app, that's automation. You can get that done in 2 minutes. Right? So that's a form of automation. It can be very, very fast. Many of you think that it takes a lot of different apps to automate. You think of automation as something where you integrate a variety of apps. I would say that automation saves you from having to integrate a variety of apps. You can actually have one app that is built with an integrated model in mind. So once you're able to set up those initial rules for what should happen, that app sort of takes over and the built-in integrations for that app actually do what they're supposed to do, which is talk to each other. Some of you think you have to be a multi-million-dollar company in order to justify the expense of automation. I'll say to you that automation doesn't have to cost you a dime. The saved message example I gave you, that doesn't cost you anything. Just drafting the message up front, whether it's in a Google Doc, a Word doc, or in an app, and then making sure that you can just copy and paste that message into emails, or you can create a situation where that message gets automatically sent once you get a question that's relevant. That didn't cost you anything. And then many of you think that you need thousands of clients, maybe even millions of clients, to justify actually the return on investment from automation. I would say if you have even more than 3 clients, you would benefit from automation, because you're oftentimes getting the same questions over and over again from clients. And so if you can save yourself the time and automate upfront, do that work once, and then not have to do it over and over again, it's justifiable. You don't need thousands of clients to really make that argument. And then finally, some of you are nervous that it might feel spammy to automate. I would say that automation only feels spammy if you're sending someone the same message over and over again, or sending them messages that are not relevant to anything they asked you for. That's when automation feels spammy. But if you're actually sending someone a hyper relevant message in response to a question that they initiated, or if you're giving them an opportunity to do something once and not have to do it again, nothing spammy about that. So hopefully that's addressed your sense of like the perceptions and misperceptions. The other thing to note is Dilbert always makes things seem easier, right? Dilbert takes complex concepts or humdrum concepts and makes them funny, it makes them interesting. Here, Dilbert's trying to make the case that technology doesn't have to be scary, even if you don't know what it's why it works, right? Even if it feels a little mysterious, it doesn't have to be scary. There is science behind it. All right, so for those that aren't convinced that automation is for you, what I will say is you have already embraced automation. If you are using a smartphone in your life, you are benefiting from automation. Thousands and thousands of individual automations when you use a smartphone. So too late, you're already in the automation game. And so are your clients. And here's how I'll prove it. If you've ever ordered food, whether it's for delivery or for pickup, you have benefited from at least these 3 automations. The first is you've had to have saved your address in the app. And once you do that, the app knows which restaurants to show you, because it draws a radius around your address, and it basically identifies all the restaurants that you are within their delivery distance. So that's automation. You didn't have to go and map those restaurants yourself. It did it for you just by saving your address. The other thing you probably have done is one-touch reorder. Many of us typically order the same thing over and over again. Favorite pizza shop, favorite burrito place. You know, they know, no onions in your burrito, no cheese on your pizza. You can do one-tap reordering and your preferences are saved. You didn't have to put in those preferences again. They were saved, and they're getting it right for you every single time you order. And then finally, my favorite is the saved payment, right? How many times have you been in front of the TV watching something on Netflix, and then you want to order something? You don't want to get up and go grab your purse or wallet and then have to pull out a credit card and put that CVV number in again, because the system saves that information for you. You don't have to do it. It saves you the work, because you've already done it once. You shouldn't have to do it again. So those are 3 examples of automation, super simple automations that make the experience of ordering food a delight. So how many of you are thinking, gosh, I bet you my clients would really love a one-touch reordering or rebooking service from you? How many of you are thinking, gosh, wouldn't it be nice if my clients can save their payment methods, so anytime they pay me, they don't have to type it in again, they can just confirm? So these are all things that are running through your clients' minds, because they're benefiting from this in the food delivery space. So they're wondering, why can't I benefit from it in terms of the pet care services that I use? All right, so if you're convinced that automation can make a difference, will make a difference for your clients, you're probably asking yourself, when's the right time to really automate? My bias is now. Here are all the things that you're probably doing right now on a manual basis. My challenge is you're already doing this work day in and day out. And so we're just saying, why not shift the work to building these automations so you can stop kind of doing these things day in and day out. You can kind of get off the hamster wheel where, as it relates to admin docs and administrative paperwork, and you can actually move that time into like a higher pursuit, which is getting more clients, delighting the clients that you have. If you're sending people contracts and forms that they have to sign, and they have to print it and sign it, or they have to sign it in person, That's a lot of manual work that really then creates a big filing issue for you, and oftentimes makes that paperwork not super accessible when you're out on the job, right? Those are all areas where you're missing the mark in terms of automation. Another example is late night. You probably spend a lot of time late at night following up on things. Why? Because oftentimes you don't actually have the information from your clients on you because you're working in the field, working on site with them. You have to go back to your office, go back to your home and access that information because you haven't created a situation, you haven't created a system where they can put that information in themselves and you can have it in an automatic fashion. The other thing is the payment follow up. How many of you really hate the uncomfortable conversation around asking someone if they got your invoice or if they can, make sure they pay on time? That's so uncomfortable. You're trying to build a relationship with people. You don't really want to have to get into the payment discussion. A system, an automatic system, an automatic payment reminder can do that for you. So you can protect your relationship and not have to get into that conversation without risking cash flow challenges in your business. And then finally, the back and forth. This is the one that really gets me on scheduling. The average scheduling back and forth is like 7 bounce backs, right? Like, hey, are you available this weekend to be able to help do a puppy social for me? No, not this weekend, but I could do it next weekend. Great. What time? Well, these are the 4 times that are available. Awesome. Can I do it at 4? Yes, confirmed. I mean, that's like 6 to 8 back and forths just to get something on the calendar. It's just not necessary. Your calendar is available on your phone. It can be synced and they can see transparently when you have that time that's available for them to book without you having to go back and forth. They can self-serve. So there's so many opportunities to really automate and to do the things that you're currently doing manually and oftentimes in a really challenging way for you and your clients to really just shift it. The other reason why now is these 2 stats that really get me. 95% of text messages are read and responded to within 3 minutes of being received. Let me read that again. 95% of text messages are read and responded to within 3 minutes of being received. That's unheard of. There is no other form of communication, not Instagram, not Facebook, not YouTube, not email for sure, that gets that kind of open rate and response rate. It's unheard of. People just are attached to their phones and they really just want to get stuff done through text. The other supporting stat is that people check their phone 58 times a day. I don't know about you, but when I check my phone during the day, and it's a lot, maybe not 58 times, but it's a lot. When I check my phone during the day, what I'm checking is my SMS. I'm not checking my email very often. I might check my email 3 to 4 times a week. That, in terms of response time, you just can't beat that in terms of text. So here are some success stories. I really want to lean in on the fact that I'm sort of an operator. I'm building technology products because I believe they can make your life easier, but there's nothing that beats hearing directly from people who are running businesses like you and just reflecting on their automation experience, the why behind that experience, the what it's done for them, and ultimately to really just be able to get a feel for how life could be with a little bit of automation and how business could work with a little bit of automation. So we have a number of pros that we work with in the pet professional space, and they're awesome, awesome pros who really spend the time and think about how can I make things better, certainly for my clients, but also for me. And I'm going to talk to you about 3 different professionals that we've worked with, and then you'll have a chance to hear directly from them. Michelle Martiria is just amazing. She runs a pet professional business that is training and supporting dogs. She's been training and supporting dogs for 25 or 26 plus years. She also has a business that specifically focuses on equine or equestrian focused support and services. So she's supporting everyone from horses to zebras and donkeys. I mean, you should hear the stories. And then she also supports exotic animals. If horses weren't enough, she supports exotic animals. She has worked with porcupines and dolphins. So you can only imagine the amount of time she's spending out in the field without the access to her desktop to be able to do all of that work and manage her business. So without automation, it's not clear where she would be. The other person I want to talk to you about is Sarah Miles, who is just an amazing positive trainer who is all about moving her practice online and figuring out better, easier ways to get groups of folks to be able to learn from both her and each other. And so she's built an awesome program to be able to automate the way that her clients are able to book classes from her and book other services. You can hear directly from her. And then finally, Natasha O'Banion. We like to call her the mistress of process automation. She has built an amazing dog walking business that's across the country. She has trained and mentored other dog walkers, and a huge part of what she trains people around is how to automate everything from the client onboarding process to really the team building process. So you'll also hear from her. So I'm going to give you a minute to hear from each of them so that you can get a feel for where their heads were at and what automation has done for them. So we'll start with Sarah Miles so you can get a feel for what she experienced in the context of automation.
Yeah, I would say
Okay.
Yeah, I would say I was kind of an entrepreneur in hiding. My mom was, she had her own business. And so I knew what that kind of life was like. And I wasn't very sure that I wanted to do that when I started out. So I worked for quite a few other people. And I really got to a point where I was like, I think I could do this better. I'm going to do it myself. So I want to say that I stumbled upon PocketSuite in a dog trainer Facebook group. Somebody recommended it, and I checked it out. I looked at a couple other things and everything, and I love PocketSuite because one, it's so easy to access the team and say, hey, this would be really amazing if we could have this. But it's also been it's just everything that I've needed has been in the app. So even when I wasn't really sure what I needed, I was able to find it, and it just helped me build my business. So it's been great, and I've basically used it since the beginning.
So that's Sarah Miles. You're going to now hear from.
I would say I was kind of an entrepreneur. Basically, used it since the beginning.
You're now going to hear from Michelle Martiria, who I talked a little bit about. Does everything from equestrian training to dog training to exotic animal training.
Tried like a software. I've tried a bunch of things. Like I've always wanted to automate. One of the things I was really reluctant to put together before was classes. Because of that, again, the contracts, the scheduling, the whole thing, and now I've set up some classes very nice because it was really easy to do. I don't have to think about it. People just sign it, click that button on my website, takes them right to PocketSuite. They register for the class they want. They fill out the contract right there. I can talk to them directly if I need to text them through there. It's made my life a lot easier.
That was Michelle Martiria. So you hear directly from her how classes made her life that much easier.
I'd like a
All right, and this is Natasha O'Banion, who will talk a little bit about what automation did for her.
I used to come in with a clipboard, and don't think I'm like Miss America, girl. I'm not. I used to come in with a clipboard, and I'm like, okay, so what's your pet's name exactly? All right, what would you like us to do today? All right, where should I find this? And that was like a 45-minute process. I'm like, how can I scale this? Chinwei, I go into PocketSuite, I create all the forms. I didn't have a credit card form. I create my own credit card form. I got my own form in the background. I got my own credit card contract. It's all in there for you to go wild, guys. I manage my staff in there. I do employee warning notifications. right? Like people are like, you write your name up in PocketSuite? Yes, I do. If we have infractions, I can do a form. There's like, and I'm only saying this because it's endless. I notice people don't use the group chat enough. You know, my whole team nationwide can all chit chat and piggyback and talk about the same thing right in PocketSuite under a group chat. Make a group chat for your team. Make it fun. Make it, make it a family.
There's Natasha O'Banion. She, again, has just pushed the limits of what you can do in automation, both with your clients and with your team. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the process of automation. I hope you're all convinced that automation can make a difference for you. I hope you're all convinced that it may be scary, but it's mostly because it's unfamiliar, and that you can get the benefits based on your size, your budget, and the time that you have to be able to begin the process. You don't have to do it all in one place. Begin the process of automation. So let me talk to you about just what the typical flow is. This should not be unfamiliar to you. Everything from the process of clients discovering who you are, to you actually onboarding them because they really want to work with you, to the ongoing support that you provide them, and potentially the offboarding for those clients that have graduated or for whom you have finished delivery of the services. The key here is that every step of the way, there's an opportunity to automate. There's an opportunity to take a routine action that you perform for every client that's at that step, and to basically build a set of rules around what the system should do when the client reaches that step. That's all it is. It's what should the system do? What message should they be sent? What action should be taken? What transactional step should follow when that client reaches that step? That's the key to automation, is figuring out what the right trigger is, and then figuring out what should happen and writing some rules around that. And the systems, different systems, make it really easy for you to do all of that. So at the discovery stage, it's about how do we make it easier for people to find out about our business? How do we make it easier for those who have found out about our business to learn more about the thing that they are looking for, the thing they're looking to get answers to? And then also how we can take that next step where they can actually book us, whether it's for a free consultation or a paid consultation, so they can get a little taste of what we have to offer, of our approach. And then during onboarding, it's how do we collect that core information that we need from them, whether it's forms or contracts signed, and then how do we get them on the books as a full-blown client receiving our full-blown program. And then again, as a follow-on, once they're in it, how do we continue to get feedback from them if it's one and done, or if it's an ongoing relationship? How do we get them to rebook us if there's an opportunity to re-engage them over time? And then how do we get those awesome referrals that create a network of opportunity for us to tap into their community of potential future clients and prospects? So for each one of these steps, there's an opportunity to automate. And the way we structure automation is to say, look, whatever you're doing manually, it's not that you have to stop it. It's that you can peel off pieces of what you're doing manually that actually can be automated, and you actually automate those steps. And there are some things that can't be automated that are absolutely worthwhile to do. So in the discovery phase, when you think about the manual things that you're doing, in terms of finding your business as an example, we have countless pet professionals who have told us that they've built relationships with local vets, that they go to the local dog park to get clients. There are so many different ways in which they can get referrals. Absolutely keep doing that. There's no way to replace that relationship. There's no way to replace that personal touch that comes with building trust, so people are willing to send people your way. Now, beyond that, there are other ways for folks to find you online. They can find you on Instagram. They can find you on Facebook. They can find you through your industry association directory. There are ways to automate where people can find you online. And that is worth adding to what you're already doing manually in terms of finding people finding your business. Same thing with Learn More. You might be creating a channel where people have to call you to learn more. or they may have to fax you, or they may have to come in personally and connect with you. That should not be the only way folks can learn more. And over time, as you get busier, you may want to route most people to an online channel so they can learn more. You can install a chat widget on your website. You can create a contact us form that goes directly to you via text so you can respond in real time. Or you can encourage people to text you. Those are all ways to automate that learn more step. And then booking an initial consultation. This is the game changer, right? Once someone finds you online, how do they get access to your calendar and book you for that first consultation? You could put a booking site, a link on your social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, on your website, so people can see your calendar. And again, they don't see your personal events and your existing client appointments. What they do see is when you're available, and you will have set the times you want them to see that you're available, and you'll have synced your calendar to your booking site. So anytime you're blocked for anything else, they won't see those times as available, and it's a real time. So every time you book an appointment, your booking site automatically updates, so people always have the latest and greatest information about your availability to book you too. Imagine what that will save you in terms of the back and forth. The next is onboarding. You collect client information, you ask for waivers. Again, right now you might be doing that via fax or via email. There is a better way, right? You can actually send folks electronic forms, you can text it to them, you can email it to them, and they can fill it out directly. The absolute advanced move is to embed those forms into your booking site checkout experience. And that's something that PocketSuite does, so that as someone is booking you, they actually are prompted to read and sign the waiver. They're prompted to get that initial intake information into the form, so you have that information right at the time where you receive their booking. And so you don't actually have to do a back and forth with them at all. It is a one and done for them. That is the game changer. The other thing that we like to encourage is when people are booking sessions or actually buying packages from you, they can buy those packages online. Why would they want to buy those packages online? Well, so you can track how many sessions they have at any given time. Every time they book an appointment with you, the system automatically tracks those sessions, so they always know how many sessions they have left, and so do you. So come renewal time, there's no surprise. Folks are ready to renew that package and do more with you. This is huge. Finally, ongoing support and offboarding. Well, there's nothing like getting feedback from your clients, and you don't want to wait till your service is done. You want to keep getting that feedback so you can keep improving your services as long as they're a client of yours. So instead of asking them in person to fill out the form when they're rushing in to pick up their dog or rushing out, why not send them an automated text message that asks them to complete a survey when they're in their downtime, or they're waiting for a bus, or when they're waiting for the vet to come back with any results for their pet. So that is key, is when can you send them the information when they actually are a captive audience, and when it's super convenient for them to complete it. The same goes for rebookings. The system knows when they last booked you. So the system can serve up, hey, if you want them to rebook you every 2 weeks or every month, the system can actually serve that up and send them that message automatically. You don't have to remember it in your head. You're focused on other things. The system can remember it and send them a rebooking request. Hey, we miss you. You should book another puppy social. Hey, we miss you. Let's make sure that you complete the remaining 3 sessions in your package. Those are the kinds of reminders that the system can send out on your behalf. The same goes for referrals. When all is said and done and that client has made it clear that they love the work that you did for them, instead of sending them a thank you card or emailing them a request for a referral, why not send them a text message and ask them for a referral, and maybe give them 10% off their next booking? That is key. If you can do it in an automated fashion, that 10% off actually stays with you. It's a gift certificate. It's a card that can be applied next time they book you. It's something tangible that they can see, that's always in their line of sight, as a reminder of the reward you gave them for that referral. Those are the kinds of things that really make a huge difference for clients. So I hope we've convinced you that automation is real. It's the right thing, and it's something that you want to do right now. You're going to reduce your time to do paperwork. You're going to make it easier for your clients, almost like booking food delivery services or ordering food. You're going to look more professional with a booking site where people can tap and see what your availability is and avoid the back and forth. You're absolutely going to increase your income with all these rebooking reminders and payment reminders. And you're absolutely going to do more of what you love, because a lot of that extra heavy lifting is going to be off of your plate. It will solve problems in the area of scheduling. It will ensure that folks are getting reminders and notifications so you can avoid no-shows and late payments. It will help you with your marketing and ensure that you can retain more of your clients. And it will absolutely help you collect on payments that are owed, ensure expectations are set appropriately for when you should be paid, and it will enable you to avoid uncomfortable conversations. So the automation tools that you want to be taking a hard look at are tools that help you with scheduling, recurring bookings, online bookings, notifications. These are ones that send appointment reminders, payment reminders. Marketing automations. They send welcome messages to new clients. They request for reviews. They help you with getting referrals. They are absolutely great in helping people to remember when to rebook you. And even when you miss a call, they can get people going so you don't have to miss a potential lead or new client. And then payment automations are endless. These are ones that allow you to track packages that are purchased from you. They make it easy for people to book you for classes. They auto charge people for subscriptions if you have a membership program or if you have an auto charge program. And they simplify your cancellation policy and help you enforce it. These are all automations that are awesome. These are my favorite automation hacks. I'll send this to you in the deck. This is a deck that can be sent to you so that you can dig into these. These are so fun, and they show you just the real power of automations from the standpoint of the typical back and forth that you have with your clients. So I hope I've been effective at debunking the myths that automations are, this foreign, scary thing, that automations are things that you need really expensive technologies to use and to prove out, and that automations are going to take a long time to get set up, time that you don't have. I hope I've been effective at debunking those. We're going to talk about frequently asked questions, but we've listed some here for you. So if you have questions specifically about PocketSuite, how it works for pet professionals in particular, what features people love, and how to handle those core steps associated with how to onboard your clients, how to collect payment from your clients, and message and interact with them. We hope we've answered your questions here and are happy to answer them offline as well. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a real pleasure connecting with you and really sharing what we've learned about business automation for pet professionals. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.